Hi everyone, coming up on KREM News at noon, the 116th Congress begins today and the battle lines have already been drawn as we enter the 13th day of the partial government shutdown. Political analysts say the biggest issue causing the government shutdown is border security. So today we look at when and how the physical border wall created a political one. And local firefighters are preparing for ice water rescues this winter, and crews say this training will indeed save lives.
KREM 2 News at Noon begins now.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Papetti. We have a heads up for anyone going to Silver Mountain today. Due to unusually high winds, the gondola will not be running there today, and that means there will not be any skiing, snowboarding, or tubing available today. So we did want to give you that heads up if you were thinking of grabbing an afternoon of skiing. All right, so let's talk about weather and what is going on outside. Jen York is in the Weather Center showing us what we can expect for the rest of the day. And of course, Jen, the weekend.
Oh, of course, all eyes are on the weekend now, but today we just have a lot of active weather to get through. Take a look at our current wind speeds around the region. We were just mentioning Silver Mountain ceasing operations for the day. On top of the mountain, they're looking at gusts of 30 miles per hour right now, and the sustained winds are anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. Similar conditions as you head into the Palouse. Those winds have just not let up at all this morning, and we've actually seen the wind increase since the morning here in Spokane through the I-90 corridor, looking at wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour out there on the I-90 freeway today. Now, taking a look at our current temperatures, rather warm for this time of year. Of course, the wind chill factor from those wind speeds that you just saw will impact these temperatures. They won't feel as warm as 36 degrees, 35 degrees, in Coeur d'Alene and Spokane, especially down in Lewiston. It'll make it feel much colder. However, these temperatures are well above where we should be this time of year. Our normal daytime high for this time of year is right at the freezing mark, 32 degrees. So we're well above that, nearing 40 degrees out in Ritzville, 47 down in Richland this afternoon. But boy, look at the activity on our satellite radar. We've really seen the rain activity increase through the lunch hour here, and this is expected to be the bulk of the shower activity today. From here on out, we'll start to see it taper off into the evening commute, but you can see the rain that's in Spokane is starting to transition into snow for North Idaho and Central Idaho, maybe a rain-snow mix as you head down into the Palouse, into the Moscow area. You may see a break in the weather right now out in central Washington, but keep in mind we did have a number of advisories in effect this morning. Those have since cleared up. However, with so much moisture on the roads, expect maybe some standing water if you are traveling through central Washington. That's a lot of activity today, including freezing rain. Keep that in mind for your travels. And of course, on either side of our region, we have a number of other watches and warnings, including plenty of snow coming into the Cascades. I'll be detailing your weekend forecast and what else we can expect when this gusty weather will die down coming up in my full forecast. Laura?
Jen, thank you very much. It is 12:03 right now. Local firefighters want to warn all of us about the dangers of frozen lakes and ponds out there. Of course, it can be a very, very tricky situation, and this is coming after the death of an 8-year-old boy near Omak. Now, Chance Tepley was playing with his younger brother and a friend when he wandered into a drainage area. He ended up behind a locked gate before falling through the ice. His brother and then later deputies tried to save him, but he ended up dying at the hospital. Today, KREM 2's Kara Elfallen telling us why firefighters take their seasonal ice rescue training so very seriously.
Yes, well, as you can imagine, it is pretty cold outside, but don't let this weather fool you. Just because it feels cold and you're assuming everything around you might be frozen solid doesn't actually mean it's true. Looks can be deceiving, especially out near frozen lakes and ponds like this one. Yeah, the ice may be enough to hold that rock, but not so sure about a human being. Spokane Valley firefighters say annual training is the best way to make sure they can be as efficient as possible when responding to ice rescue emergencies. Efficiency is key, but they also learn to move quickly since every moment could be the difference between saving a life or a family suffering a loss. When the water is this cold, hypothermia doesn't take long to set in.
That can be a matter of minutes. And also that water is so cold and shocking that you can take a deep breath and panic and possibly aspirate and make a bad situation worse. Please don't make yourself a victim. Make sure you call 911 and stay out.
By that, Perry means it makes it even more challenging for rescue crews when someone else tries to be a hero before they arrive. Sometimes that means that person then becomes a victim themselves, meaning now crews have to save 2 people. Now, Perry said that the ice is usually okay to walk on when it's at least 2 inches thick, but just because it's 2 inches thick right here doesn't necessarily mean over there it's 2 inches thick as well, so it can be hard to tell if it's actually safe. He also said if you see someone fall through the ice, the best thing to do is to call 911. He doesn't want you going out there and trying to rescue that person, because then you run the risk of becoming a victim yourself as well. Or if you happen to have rope on you, you can throw that out and see if you can pull someone in while you wait for first responders to arrive. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Kara, appreciate that. All right, take a look at this scary moment. This is out of Nashville, Tennessee. A Gray Line bus caught fire during the morning commute. This is along a popular interstate. It was carrying state workers to Music City state workers to a downtown transit station. Emergency crews are not sure what caused the bus to even catch fire, but amazingly enough, everyone on board was able to make it out and was doing okay. Passengers say the bus driver took charge immediately and evacuated everyone right away. New Congress began today. This is on Capitol Hill. Democrats are taking control of the House of Representatives, picking up 40 new seats. So far, neither side, though, is showing any sign of compromise to end the partial government shutdown. Democrats do not want to provide funding for President Trump's border wall. Senate Republicans say they will only support legislation approved by the president. Well, it can be hard to imagine a time when the 2 parties might have actually agreed to build a wall along the Mexican border, but back in 2006, the federal government had built nearly 700 miles of fencing, and that was with bipartisan support. It was all part of the Secure Fence Act signed by President Bush. 90 Democratic members of Congress at that time supported it, including President Barack Obama, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and current Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. In 2007, a Republican amendment gave the Department of Homeland Security control over where to build the barriers. Now, the topic of border security seemed to really die down until the 2016 election.
I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen.
Overall design of the wall, so it is hard to tell what the outcome would be. 12:07 right now in California, driver's licenses and ID cards now have 3 gender options. Under a new law there, drivers can either select male, female, or non-binary when they fill out an application. The DMV cannot require an application to provide gender documentation. Those who do select non-binary will get a card with an X in the gender category. It is estimated the 3rd gender option will cost the DMV nearly $1 million, and that's because the department has to change its entire system to make this modification. All right, 12:08 right now. Certainly a big weekend for the Seattle Seahawks. They are set to play the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card round of the playoffs.
And it's a bit of a gusty day outside across the inland Northwest. I'll have your weekend forecast, including your travel pass forecast for the weekend.